What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Michael back with another video. It's been a while since I've made a video, but in this one, we're going to go a little bit away from college football and we're going to focus on the NFL. In this video I'm bringing to you, we're going to focus on the AFC Divisional matchup happening on Saturday at 3:35 on NBC between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, these two teams, what a hell of a season these two teams have had. You got Andrew Luck coming back from a horrible injury, missing the 2017 season. He's putting up great numbers. He's winning. You got Patrick Mahomes, his first year as a starter. He's already going to win the MVP. He's already a #1 seed in the AFC. He's already a 5,000-yard passer and a 50-touchdown passer. So this kid, he's got all the talent in the world. He's making plays after plays that we've never seen before. He's just monumental, guys. This game, Lord have mercy. I mean, the last time Kansas City played, we saw them beat Oakland 35-3. And then Indianapolis just played last week in the wild card round and then defeated the Houston Texans pretty impressively, 21-7. Now, for y'all that are about to watch this video, I'm a Colts fan, a diehard Colts fan, but when I make my picks for games, when I do all this video stuff, I put my homer to the side. I put it to the side. I'm a realist. I talk real. And there have been times when I've picked against Indianapolis, where I've picked against them. So whichever I pick, don't take it personally. This is what, when I watch tape, when I watch film, when I watch these games of these two teams, I see how they match up. That's what I'm about to get into now, guys. So this is actually, this has the potential of being probably the best game. I think it's probably going to be the best game of the weekend because you have Andy Reid versus Frank Reich. I mean, those of you, we know about who Andy Reid is. We know who this man is. But when you look at Frank Reich, he was offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. They just won the Super Bowl last year. When he leaves, a little bit of iffy stuff going on the offensive side of the ball there. But he comes to Indianapolis. He utilizes the running game. He gets his tight ends involved. He has such great play design. A lot of movement before the snap, but it's great play design. I like the way he uses Eric Ebron. I like the way he uses his tight ends. In Philadelphia, what did we see? We saw Zach Ertz. Now we're seeing Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. So we see a little bit familiarity, all right? Now, Frank Reich versus Andy Reid, which coach is going to come in? Because, of course, with those first 15 scripted plays, how are you going to get it going? How are you going to have that already set? How are you going to attack these two opposing defenses? So that's going to be something I really want to stick to, because when it comes to choosing Frank Reich or Andy Reid, guys, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place picking who I would choose between these guys. I mean, that's just how brilliant they are. You got Andrew Luck versus Patrick Mahomes. You got, I mean, I just, in my opening statement, Andrew Luck and Patrick Mahomes have just been probably the two best quarterbacks in the AFC. Now, how these two guys are going to fare in this kind of weather, because right now it's looking about 30 degrees with a little bit of snow. So you don't know how pass happy these two teams are going to be. I do think if Kansas City can't be pass happy, I think Kansas City's going to be in trouble because Indianapolis has a strong defense. Now, how is Andy Reid going to get away from that? Is he going to try and get outside? I don't think that's a good idea because Indianapolis has speed at the linebacker position and at corner position. They have speed. So what you're going to get on the outside, I'm not so sure about. But let's not count out the Chiefs running game, guys. Let's not do that. I'm hearing all the talk about Kansas City's already going to lose. Guys, I don't care about Kansas City playoff history. I don't care about any of that. Some of these people probably don't even know who Patrick Mahomes is until this year. I'm a TCU fan. I saw Patrick Mahomes 3 times. I saw what he could do. I watched his 2 games against Oklahoma. I watched what he did against LSU in the Texas Bowl. I watched him. I know what this guy is capable of with his arm and with his legs. This guy is the real deal. So I'm kind of annoyed hearing all this playoff talk about how the Chiefs have playoff demons. My gosh, can we just focus on Colts versus Chiefs, man? Let's just focus on this. Nothing is given. Nothing is guaranteed. You got to go out there and earn your victory, whether if you're the Chiefs or the Colts. If the Chiefs beat the Colts, you beat those playoff demons. If the Colts beat the Chiefs can't get away from the playoff demons. Colts played great, whatever it may be. I'm not focusing on that. I don't do hypotheticals. I don't do hypotheticals. I'm not a Skip Bayless. I don't do hypotheticals. I call it like it is, and I tell the truth. So for Kansas City to have success in this game, guys, I think they're going to have success in the throwing game. Now, is it unheard of to throw the ball in the cold? It's not, guys, but when it's the cold, it's all about game management, especially in the playoffs. Game management. Do you want to take 3 straight throws, but the ball is like a rock and your receiver didn't catch it, now you're 3 and out? You don't want that in the playoffs. And if you're Kansas City, that's what you should be afraid of. 3 and outs and giving the ball back to Indianapolis because they can run the football and shorten the game for Patrick Mahomes. That's what you should be afraid of. Now, what Colts fans should be afraid of course, a guy like Travis Kelce and a guy like Tyreek Hill. But man, you have these other wild cards that have maybe a Robinson. I'm sorry, guys. The first name is escaping me, but I know his last name is Robinson. I think it's Denaric Robinson, I think. But I've watched a little bit of him, and he makes plays too. But Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce get all the credit. For those of you that don't know, Colts fans, it was just announced today Mike Mitchell was put on IR. So he was used in a lot of sub packages. I believe on Saturday he played about 23 snaps. So a little bit of a blow to the Colts secondary. I thought he might have been a guy who could shadow Travis Kelce, but now that responsibility is probably going to go to Clayton Gathers or George Odom. I was thinking about maybe what if you have Darius Leonard cover him. I think that's too big of a risk because if you have Darius Leonard go after Travis Kelce, you leave the middle of the field wide open. Now, am I going to trust Darius Leonard? Because if Travis Kelce goes deep, our attention is going to be focused on him, and guess what? We got Tyreek Hill going under the middle. We can't allow that because that's where I would trust Darius Leonard over Anthony Walker because I think Darius Leonard has more athleticism to contain Tyreek Hill. No, wrong word. To minimize Tyreek Hill. Now, when I say minimize, he's probably going to get a catch and then run for some yards. Maybe catch a 7-yard pass and get 15 yards as to where he might catch a 7-yard pass and then get 25 yards. You know what I mean? So the little things matter in the playoffs, guys. Those extra yards matter. If you're 3rd and 12, you don't want to give up that 12. In this Tampa 2 defense, you're probably going to give up 11, but you don't want to give up that 12. Now, when it comes to Kansas City, guys, I truly trust that Andy Reid is going to go for it on 4th down. He just is. And you don't want to have them face a 4th and 1. The Colts even just doesn't want that. I also think the Colts can't exactly play too much zone in this game because Patrick Mahomes will just pick them apart and he will have his way. He's not going to go 50 yards down the field. He's going to go methodically 7 yards here, 6 yards here, 11 yards there. It's going to tire out this Colts defense, and that's not what we want. Shut down the run game, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but make Patrick Mahomes beat you in the playoffs. You will let Patrick Mahomes throw the ball 40 times, but you will not let the running game get going. That is the key for the Indianapolis Colts. And like I said, for the Kansas City Chiefs, they will pick apart Indianapolis if they sit in zone all day. Now, flipping things, you have probably the best matchup of the entire divisional round weekend. You have the best offensive line in football at not allowing sacks, going up against the best defense in getting sacks. Justin Houston, Chris Jones, D Ford. This is going to be one hell of a matchup. Now, for Indianapolis to shorten this game for their defense, to keep them fresh in coming on the field and facing Patrick Mahomes, you can't allow Justin Houston and Dee Ford you can't allow them so many opportunities to get sacks. I do not want to see 35 pass attempts in this game. I want to see about 20 to 25 because in this game, we need to have about 40 to 50 rushing attempts because the Kansas City Chiefs are the 31st ranked defense. Shorten this football game. Now, when it comes to adding on more rushing attempts, that means extra ball security. Marlon Mack has put the football on the ground a couple of times. Nyheim Hines, he hasn't done it a lot. I don't think he actually has lost a fumble all year. But in preseason, Nyheim Hines had bad trouble with fumbling the football. I believe he's corrected that now, but still, protect the football. Now, how healthy T.Y. Hilton is going to be, again, remains to be a question in this game, but he's going to play, obviously. I don't think the Colts are going to try and take anything downfield because of the weather, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do in case T.Y. Hilton can get behind the back end because the Kansas City Chiefs have their hands full. The defense has their hands full. Who is going to guard a Dontrell Inman? Who is going to guard a T.Y. Hilton and then an Eric Ebron? But also be prepared for a Marlon Mack and a Nyheim Hines coming out of the backfield. If the secondary of the Kansas City Chiefs can buy time for their defensive line, and they get home, then that's a win. I truly believe that this game is gonna be won up front and a little bit by the quarterback decision of this game and the in-game coaching. Now, when it comes to playoff football, I mean, guys, you can't. I know I said earlier, but this seems to just follow Andy Reid anywhere he goes. When it comes to the playoffs, this guy will just horribly game manage football games. He will horribly game manage. Is that something he's going to do in this game? I do not know. But what DC Matt Eberflus for the Indianapolis Colts is going to have to do is dial up pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to have to get home. You can't send 8 blitzers. You can't send 7 blitzers and not get home and expect there to be an incomplete pass. The only way I see this being an incomplete pass if you bring 7 is if someone drops the ball or if it's basically if it's dropped. Because if we're going to send a blitz, it needs to get home. This is going to be a big game for Malik Hooker. All you Colts fans that say, what has Malik Hooker done? Guys, we're one of the best secondaries in the league at not giving up big passing plays. I'm talking about 50-yard bombs, 30-yard bombs. We're one of the best at that because Malik Hooker, quarterbacks will not challenge Malik Hooker because he's got that on lockdown. I believe it's going to get tested 1 or 2 times in this football game. And if Malik Hooker can be there to stop it, we will get this game. I believe the Colts will win this game because when it comes to who's going to be more physical in this football game, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts defensive line and offensive line because this game is going to be about protecting the quarterback and getting after the quarterback. How much are you going to be able to harass Patrick Mahomes? How much are you going to be able to protect Andrew Luck? Because if Andrew Luck has the time, I believe Frank Reich, that's why I'm saying the first 15 scripted plays are so huge. They are huge. They're big. So I need to make sure, the Colts need to make sure that when they come out, they have to be ready. They have to take the fight to Kansas City. They got to be more physical. They have to have heart. They have to have it all. Because this game, everybody is saying Colts, Colts, Colts. They're not listening. I don't want to listen to it either. Because the game still has to be played, and we still have to face the MVP of 2018. We still have to go on the road into a great environment against a great offensive guru. We can't do that. Because if the Kansas City Chiefs cannot get home to Andrew Luck when he drops back, Kansas City will be picked apart, I believe. Can they stop the run? I believe not. You just can't be that great because in the playoffs, guys, defense matters. I've seen it way too many times in college and in NFL. Offense is great. Offense is exciting. You may have the best offense in history, but what has happened to, let's say, the past 2 Oklahoma teams? Their defense is sorry. Oklahoma should have been national champions with that offense. But because their defense is sorry, they can't stop the run, they can't stop the pass, they lost in the college semifinal when they really should have won. They put up 34 points against Alabama, put up, 52 points against Georgia. That shouldn't have happened. In this game, Kansas City can put up 40 points, but they'll allow 35. So I just trust my defense over Kansas City's. I will trust my offensive line over Kansas City's offensive line. I will trust it, guys, because this game is going to be won up front and in the running game. Which team can shorten the game? Because if the Indianapolis Colts can mark off those 6-7 minute drives and finish in the end zone, they're one of the best at finishing in the end zone. Guys, this will be a long day for Kansas City, and I believe the Colts will win, and that's my pick. The Colts will win this game because I just trust my football team as an overall team than I do the Kansas City Chiefs. They have such a great offense. This is going to be the matchup. Kansas City or Indianapolis is going to have to stop them from getting points. They can drive the football, but you can't allow them 6. You have to make them work for it, force them to kick for 3. And you never know if it might be blocked or it might be wide right, wide left. You never know when it comes to this kind of weather. So, guys, I believe this game is going to be won by the Indianapolis Colts. Kenny Moore versus Tyreek Hill. The linebackers and secondary versus Travis Kelce. Indianapolis versus Kansas City. Guys, this is going to be such a great game. I have the Colts winning. I've said that already about 3 times. But the score I have for this game, surprising to say the least, I'm going to have it 31-24. Because I believe the Colts defense the Colts offense will take these long drives and they will shorten the game and minimize what Patrick Mahomes can do. How much time he will have to work. I'm expecting for the Colts to win this game, Kansas City has to have about 6 or 7 drives, not 9 or 10. They can't. You can't give them extra possessions. You can't. And another thing for the Colts to do, start off strong again like you did last week. But also keep it going because every time when there's a mistake, you let up. You lose your momentum. In Tennessee, they were up 14-0. When Andrew Luck pulled through that pick 6, they got a field goal and didn't score again until the fourth quarter. They got a field goal at the end of the second quarter, and they didn't score again until the fourth quarter. That can't happen. Last week we were up 14-0, about to get into the end zone again. J.J. Watt tips the ball in the air. It's intercepted, and the Colts they lose that momentum. 14-0, and they won by having 21 points. Granted, yes, the defense did its part, but in this game, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You got to sustain drives. You got to finish. You got to keep momentum going. Dontrell Inman is a big wild card, and Nyheim Hines. Everybody's going to look at T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, Marlon Mack. But my thing is Dontrell Inman, Nyheim Hines, those are going to be wild cards. This is going to be such a chess match between Frank Reich and Andy Reid. Andy Reid versus Matt Eberflus. It's going to be a chess match. But I'm going to take the Colts to go 31-24, go into Kansas City and advance to the AFC Championship game. I'm sorry if y'all don't like that, but I just pieced these two teams together. I like Indianapolis, guys. I like the physicality in their offensive line, in their defensive line. I love this defensive scheme, and I like what they're doing offensively. I love what Kansas City is doing offensively, but how much of an effective run game are they going to have, and what will their defense allow? You just never know these things. Now, Kansas City could come out and, play better, but right now, I just think the Colts are the better football team. As a offense, yes, I will give you that, but a football team, balanced. It's been a long time since I can watch an Indianapolis Colts game and trust my defense, trust my offensive line, trust my running back. And guys, I trust this football team. Now, when it comes to the rest of the divisional round, last week, I was 4 for 4 on my wild card picks. All right, for those of you that don't know, of course I have a Twitter. I'm going to leave the link to it below, but I predicted the NFC Championship would be New Orleans and Dallas, and I predicted the AFC Championship to be the Chargers, and the Colts. So far, that's looking good. I was 4 for 4 last week. I'm going to try and do it again. Right now, of course, I have the Colts winning. I'm also going to have the Chargers beating New England. I'm also going to have the Saints beating Philadelphia in a much closer game. And then I'm going to have, oh, guys, I just don't know about the last one, Dallas and LA. Without Cooper Kupp, LA's kind of, I wouldn't say limited, but they missed that presence. Now, if Todd Gurley gets going, you never know what that Dallas defense might do. The Dallas defense is going to have another spectacular performance. They're going to have to, because their offense just can't go out there and win games. You just can't rely on them. If they get into a shootout, you can't rely on them. If it's a game that's in the mid-20s, you can trust them, definitely. But, a Seattle team that was young, that overachieved, that really was a one-dimensional offense. Dallas did good. They won. But, I'm going to go ahead and just stick with my pick, my championship game picks, and go with Dallas. So, Dallas will beat LA. LA Chargers will beat New England. New Orleans will beat Philadelphia, and Indianapolis will beat Kansas City. So, guys, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new Colts fans, if you're NFL fans in general. I'm going to try and get some other preview videos out there for y'all. And follow me on Twitter. I will leave a link to that below in the description. If you want to leave a comment, I will try my best to get back to those. And if you want to try and tell me something I missed, or maybe someone that's injured on Kansas City, whatever the case may be, please leave a comment, leave a like on this video. Thank you for watching this video, and y'all have a great week, and let's get ready for some great playoff football, all right?